Welcome to The Milk, the podcast that pours it all out, the messy, the magical, and the mildly unhinged moments of motherhood and womanhood. Real talk, honest stories, and reminders that none of us really know exactly what we're doing, and that's kind of the best part. I'm Taylor, your host and soon-to-be mom of 3, so let's laugh, learn, and milk this season of life for all that it's worth. Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of The Milk. Sorry, this one is a little delayed. We've been slightly sidetracked with our new boss, Scarlette McKnight, who is joining us along with Scotty's here today. My other half. You guys loved the episode. What episode did we do? Oh, the gender reveal, where you surprised me. We did that one, and you guys loved having him on here, so we had to give the fans what they wanted, him again. And also he had such a nice little hand in our delivery and my birth story, so I thought it'd be fun for us to kind of reminisce and relive it together, because I owe you our birth story of Scarlette. There's a chance she's gonna wake up during this episode, but we're gonna try our best to make it through, and we'll improvise if we need to. But it's now been 13 days. We had her 2 Tuesdays ago.
2 Tuesdays,
and this is a Monday, so yeah, it's been almost 2 weeks.
Days.
With her, and she's just been the most angelic little babe, and she's so sleepy and cute and has a full ass head of hair. When she came out, everyone was just like, oh my gosh, look at that head of hair. It looked like she was wearing a wig.
Oh, it's the first thing I saw.
It was, yeah, she did come out head first.
She did. And I just saw a lot of hair.
And our other 2 kids had hair, but not like hers. And then you look back at Scotty's pictures when he was a baby, and you're like, oh, I know exactly where that came from.
It was a hideous child. Thankfully, they look like you, but with my hair for her.
But she's opening her eyes. But yeah, no, we've just been living in like the biggest love bubble, and we'll get to how the transition has been with a family of 5 at the end. But honestly, it's been so much, I don't want to say like easier, but smoother, kind of easier than I think I expected. I feel like going from 1 to 2, the culture shock of having 2 kids instead of 1, like having to just swap kids all the time, was so much harder, or like jolting.
I think 0 to 1 is the hardest.
Totally. But then 1 to 2, remember our first night or our first morning, and we woke up and it was like double bottles, double diapers. Granted, we had 2 kids under 1.5 years, so it was like 2 babies at once. But like that felt so much more jolting.
I agree. I think we talked about this earlier, but like she has been such an angel. She's the best. What our other kids have been so good with her, but they take the opportunity where maybe like we're not looking at them for a second because we're doing something for Scarlette, and we come in and they've painted our, floor.
They've been fucking shit up when we turn our backs.
Completely just like taking advantage of the situation.
And they've been buddying up more. Like they're in a full alliance.
It's a cahoots.
It's crazy. It's actually hilarious. Like I find it so endearing, even though they're like raiding the snack cabinet and like throwing crackers and everything all over the place and squeezing juice on the floor. Like they're doing the craziest shit. But I find it so endearing because they are just like little buddies that just help each other. Like everything Aspen does, Bash follows. And then like we were talking about this with a friend yesterday. She is his muscle. So like if he can't grab a cookie on his own, like at the party yesterday, she would go and with confidence, she'd grab it for him. She'd sneak the fruit off the table, bring it to him in the little toy shed that they're playing in. Just, it's been cute to see their bond even getting stronger.
We were at a birthday party. We don't make them play in a shed, by the way. So it was just to clarify that for the listeners.
That sounded so bad. But Stephen Maris, like they had that shed that they're turning into a playhouse for the kids. It sounded really bad. But anyways, so yeah, that's what we've been up to the last 2 weeks. I'll also be filming a birth and postpartum Q&A video probably for next week too. So we'll get to like questions of that after. But I thought it'd be fun for us to share our birth experience just because it was so incredible and hilarious and just honestly was so fun.
Oh, I mean the best one by far. Very fun.
By far. Much faster than I think we expected.
Much faster.
and just like such great memories. And I don't know, I feel like you never ever get the birth of your dreams, or like things always don't go according to plan. Cue our last 2 births. But for some reason, this one was so beyond perfect, and pretty much everything that I manifested and envisioned, down to like the time I went into labor, the time I gave birth, like I was working hard with manifesting this birth, and somehow I got it. It was just the perfect way to tie a bow on our babies and just like redeem my birth experience after Bash, and how that one felt like I had to mourn a lot of my expectations and some like trauma that came with the birth, I think, for Scotty and I, of, you know, it was really scary.
Well, and the courage to kind of, because I know it's like a sensitive topic, right? Once you have a C-section, to then go natural.
Yeah, that's a big piece of the story, that I was so dead set on having a V-Bac, and Scotty's like, what's a V-Bac?
Yeah, I never know what any. Thank you for Claude, though. I find out very quickly what
he's
these
like,
things
so what's the game plan here? What are you trying to do?
Yeah.
I'm like, just, this is what's happening, and this is what I want.
I just wanted to make sure you weren't gonna die.
Wasn't gonna come out of my butt, I can tell you that.
Yeah, I would have known.
But so ultimately I decided early on, when she was head down and stayed head down, that I really, really, really wanted to have a V-Bac, just because my C-section, again, I got so sick from. The recovery was 10 times harder than I anticipated. A lot of other moms, though, like, love their C-section, so not to scare anyone, but for me, I just didn't have the greatest experience. So I was like, I really, really, really want to go for a V-Bac and just kind of redeem myself after a birth that didn't really go according to plan at all. And then we definitely, I mean, I can get into this more in the Q&A, but the reason why we also felt comfortable, because some doctors won't do them, is because I was also like the perfect candidate, that I've had a vaginal birth before. Bash was a C-section only because he was breached, not because my body couldn't progress. And Scotty and I went into the doctor's appointment to discuss my birth plan, and Scotty's like very into like statistics and numbers, and he wants like the facts of like, okay, what are the risks with both births? What happens if worst case?
I don't kind of like have any attitude to it. I'm a
Did
nerd.
I have attitude?
Like, what are the risks? I wasn't like that.
That's just how I talk. I feel like sometimes people think it's bitchy.
Yeah, I'm more like, hey, just let me know, what are the statistically, like, if she's going the V-Bac route, what are the odds, and what like could go wrong there?
And if it does go wrong, what are the survival rates, or like what?
Yeah.
What?
And then what are the, survival rates on the opposite side, and then you weigh both sides, and you're like, okay, what's most likely to bring safe baby and keep you alive? Because me with 3 kids without you they'd be painting the whole house.
You'd be so pissed at me dying.
I wouldn't be pissed. Again, wouldn't be pissed at you. I would just be really, really sad.
But no, so I mean, there were risks with obviously a C-section and a V-Bac. It was like 0.0, was it 7 or 9 of uterus rupture? That's the main risk with a V-Bac, is that because the C-section cut so deep that, right?
Because the scar isn't like
healed, and
so then that could
cause your uterus to rupture. And then if it's not, what's the word I'm looking for? In that type of scenario, if they're not prepared for that it can lead to, I think
they have to cut upwards.
Yeah, it's this whole thing that they kind of described as, and it honestly kind of was like a little bit of an icky feeling when they explained all the risks, but also I was like, I want the knowledge. I want to be informed of like worst case scenario. Am I going to be okay? And they do prepare you, like you get 2 of those, what is it? The IV, whatever those things are, instead of
IVs.
Is it? Instead of 1, you get 2. Like they prep you as if like you're going in for an emergency C-section if the worst case scenario would have happened.
Well, they also have like your blood type on tap for a blood transfusion if necessary. So they're fully prepared.
Yeah, but at the same time, the percentage is so low. When they did throw out the 1 in 100 women experience uterine rupture, I was like, oh, that kind of feels a little more real than like 0.09 or whatever the percentage was when you put in those numbers.
Yeah.
But I honestly felt so good about it. And because I was such a great candidate, and I just felt like my body really could do it because I had such a great first vaginal birth as well. And yeah, I just trusted my doctor and my team. So that's kind of where our head was going into birth. But I also was really hoping to go into labor naturally. That's another big puzzle piece. Like, they always recommend going into labor naturally for a VBAC, because with an induction, sometimes the Pitocin and meds can pick up your contractions too fast, or it could take a long time to get those contractions to a good place where your uterus is overworking, and that can cause a rupture too. So I was adamant on trying to go into birth naturally, but I also did not want to make it to 40 weeks or past 40 weeks.
No.
So I was putting in work with preparing my body, drinking the raspberry leaf tea. I was collecting colostrum. I was walking 30 minutes a day. I was taking evening primrose, and what else? I was doing all the things. I can talk about it more, but I really think that helped. Scotty wouldn't have sex with me. That's one thing that...
I didn't know we were going to talk about that.
So I didn't have that handy.
Well, here's the thing. Obviously, I don't want to get too in detail, but like, we have 3 kids, so we're pretty good there. Anytime it gets towards the 9 month, there's a whole living baby right there that's kicking, and I'm seeing the arms, and especially it's arms. It's my daughter. You see a handprint.
It's the
legs. You see a foot, and I'm just like, I feel bad for the baby. Where I'm like, what if I
poked her,
dent her head? So it's gets a little.
Anyways, I talked about that in the last episode, that apparently semen helps softening the cervix. So I didn't get a hand in that, but I did put in a lot of other work. I did the mile circuit and a bunch of other stuff. So anyways, and I started feeling all kinds of things. I want to say like 2 weeks leading up to birth, but even before, like constant Braxton Hicks, and more than I've ever experienced. And they were starting to get more uncomfortable, not painful, but just like so tight where I'm like, oh, that just doesn't actually feel good. And we went to our 37-week scan. Yeah. And I think I talked about this already, but I was already 3.5 centimeters dilated, 70% effaced. And we ended up having her 6 days later. So what else? Am I missing anything pre-birth?
No, we came out of that 37 week, and I was like, I thought I had more time here, so there was a mad dash for me to go get everything.
Scotty was panicking as if we were going into labor that night. Like, took our cars to the gas station to get gas.
Panic is an extreme word. I was preparing diligently.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. He gets triggered by the word panic. Apparently I said don't panic when I was videoing him in the middle of his sleep.
Well, because I don't really panic.
You panic a little bit.
I just like
internally.
I don't really panic.
Okay. You go into go mode. How about that?
Yeah, I'm like, okay, let's go.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
No panic.
Which is why when you were packing the gift bag, I'm like, let's go. Your water broke. We should probably get to, the hospital with professionals.
Yeah, no, I don't know why. Looking back, I posted a video of, I guess after my water broke, like me just getting myself ready. And one of the biggest comments was people were like, what kind of antidepressant are you on to be this calm? Or like, they were like, how are you so calm during this? Like, I'd be running around. And I don't know what it is.
I didn't even know you were doing that, I don't think.
No, because you were packing everything in the car.
I was packing everything in the car. I didn't know it was a content shoot going on in the bathroom.
Well, I didn't either. I was just like, I just had my phone up while I was doing things, just to, like, I don't know, remember it. And then when I looked back, I'm like, oh my gosh, I have all of this. And
the Meta Ray-Ban glasses came in key.
Yeah. I wanted him to whip them out during birth because he was down there that I could see and like record for later. And you were just too head in the game, literally.
Here's the only thing. Sometimes with the Meta Ray-Bans, they're a little heavier than normal glasses. And I had to be pretty locked in for the delivery. And the last thing I wanted was like, I'm focusing on delivering Scarlette, and my glasses kind of slide down the bridge of my nose a little bit. And then I'm gloved up. I can't touch the glasses because that'd be unsanitary. The video maybe doesn't come out as clear. Something goes wrong here.
Yeah, you dropped the baby.
I would not do that.
Anyways, so I guess on April 6th, we'll start at the beginning. On April 6th, A couple days leading up, I'll talk about this. A couple days leading up, I felt a lot of pressure. My stomach was contracting a lot. And then April 6th, around like noon, I went on a walk, and a 30-minute walk, and I just felt so much pressure down there, and I had like really dull cramping. And I actually ran into our neighbor and one of my good friends, Maddie, on the street, and I was like, oh, I have like really bad cramps. Like, I don't know if I'm going into labor. And she's obviously gone into labor naturally once or twice. And she was like, well, it should be like they come and go, almost like contractions. And I was like, that's weird. Like, it's just constant aching, like I'm on my period or about to start it. So she's like, just go home and lay down and rest. So I did that. And then at 3:45, we left to go get Bash's haircut. And the couple days leading up, I felt so much energy where I'm like, I want to get stuff done. And like, if we don't get Bash's haircut now, we're not going to get it until like a month or so after the baby's here. And so at 3:45, we hop in the car and I sit on the car, like the seat. And all of a sudden I get this like really long cramp just on one side. And to the point where it lasts like 30 plus seconds where I couldn't even turn the car on yet. Once the cramp stops, I turn the car on and our family of 4 drives down to go to his haircut. And 15 minutes later, we're getting out of the car and I'm like, oh, I feel another one. And it's like just on one side. And I just thought maybe it was like the pressure of how she was like sitting in me. And Scotty, like, I don't think he really thought I was going into labor, but he's on the phone with someone from work and he's like, hold on, Taylor's having a contraction in the middle of the road. And I'm like, okay, screw you.
In the middle of the road?
Yeah, we were getting out of the car and you were kneeling down with Bash or with Aspen, and I'm just like on the side of the street before we walk in.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
And so then we walk in and another 15 or 20 minutes later, I'm sitting in the hairdressing like chair with Bash on my lap. And I start making this face and I don't think anyone's like looking at me and I'm in like so much pain. And then I make eye contact with Bash's like hairdresser and he's like, is he sitting on your stomach wrong? Like, do you want me to move him? And I can't even get words out for like 15 seconds and we're just making awkward eye contact. And then I'm like, sorry, I think I'm just going into labor. And the shock on his face and like he starts like twitching his hands, being like, I can finish his haircut really fast. Like, and I was like, you know what, just let's make it through it. Don't worry about it. And I didn't really think I was fully going into labor, but I was like, this is just weird. And then
I would refer to him as Bash's barber.
Oh, what did I say? Hairdresser.
I don't know if Bash needs a hairdresser. We don't want him to seem too high maintenance. And this is barber.
Okay. His barber.
But yeah, you were experiencing some pain, I could tell.
And so, yeah, it was just on one side though. It was so weird. And then we went home, did dinner, like, and it just nothing happened again. So I was like, okay, cool. Like, that's it. And then I look back at, you were messing around with the camcorder. This is just so crazy how you were messing around with it.
The night before.
And I was laying on the bed horizontal and it like looks like I'm going into labor. And I look back, I'm like, how the hell did I not know I was going into labor? Because Bash is attached to my back like a little spider monkey. I'm laying on the bed sideways, like literally look like I'm on my deathbed. And Scotty's like, say bye to mama's belly, kids. Like, it's going to be gone soon. And he's just recording me messing around with it.
Mm-hmm. Unagi.
And yeah. And so little did we know, a few hours later, my water was going to break. So the kids went to bed, and then Scarlette had one last massive dance party in my stomach. I actually posted it on my Instagram story. It was like the craziest she's ever been. And then I went to bed, and at 3:20 in the morning, I was like sleeping and I took a breath and all of a sudden like I just felt like a leaking. And then I took another breath, same thing, a third breath, and I bounced out of bed. I was like, I am actually peeing myself in my sleep. Like, this is so embarrassing. And so I stand up, and as I am walking to the bathroom, it's just a full tidal wave, like gush, and it's pitch black. And I just start like kind of frantically looking because I have no idea what's happening in the moment. I'm half asleep, and I look for a light and I turn it on and I look down. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is happening. And this is happening right now. And I was 38 weeks and 3 days at 3:30 in the morning on April 7th. I totally thought we had another week.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, it felt a little shocking. And then I was like, oh wait, like there's no going back. Like, oh no, this is actually happening. It's not like just kidding. So I don't know why I like picked up my phone and I just started talking, and I was like thinking to myself, I'm like, do I wake Scotty? Do I not wake Scotty? Because I hadn't had contractions yet. And then I ultimately was like, Scotty would be like, why didn't you wake me up if I didn't? So I called my dad and I was like, hey, my water just broke. I don't know when contractions are starting. I don't know if I have to go to the hospital right now, but just be awake. And then I went and I woke Scotty up, and he had only fallen asleep 2 hours before.
I think an hour.
An hour before.
An hour before.
Anyway, so I got him out of bed, and then he starts not panicking and grabbing all the bags. I had our roll-on packed, but my handbag with like all of my toiletries and the snacks and like cameras and all those things were just like laid out. And so he took those, and I was like, I need to take a shower. So I took a shower. Then I was like, I'm not feeling a contraction yet. I'm going to do my damn skincare, and it's 3:30 in the morning. I need to depuff these eyes. And so I did that. And then I'm sitting down doing a little makeup. I FaceTime my sister, and then I start getting contractions while on FaceTime. And I'm like, ooh, okay, so this is actually starting.
And I'm like, let's go.
Yeah, and Scotty is just packing up, grabbing everything.
Yeah, I'm getting everything ready.
And I'm just taking my dang time. But I don't know why, birth, especially even with Aspen, like
you're good.
I got so calm. Mm-hmm. Like it's almost like an inner peace that I know it's coming. And usually I'm like the biggest panicker. And Scotty's always having to be like, take a breath, calm down, focus, like eyes on the prize.
I don't say calm down. I'm not allowed.
Oh yeah, he's not allowed to say calm down.
I learned you can't say that.
Yeah, you can't say that to a woman. Mm-hmm. But like, let's take a breath. Like he calms me down whenever I'm in panic mode. But for some reason around birth, I just all of a sudden like my body just like is almost like I'm on Xanax. Like I'm feeling so good.
You're also funny.
In birth?
Yeah.
He always says that it's the babies inside me that make me more funny because he has some good humor.
I think we both have good humor. You're funnier right before you give birth though. It's just like a fuck it mentality.
Yeah, it's just like so fun. I've always said, like, for people who are nervous around birth, it's like the final obstacle before you meet your baby. And it's just like at that point, it's like you just have one last thing to get through. So it's like, I don't know. I love it. It's like a celebration day. I'm not like, oh my gosh, no, I'm like having to go through this thing. It's like more of like, okay, this is the hurdle and then we're to the other side. And so yeah, so I get dressed. I put on, okay, this is where I need to give some context to the video because people were hating on my outfit. And I get it. I looked ridiculous.
I didn't think so. I just put on the most comfortable clothes you could wear.
Okay, but like I wanted to like be styling. Like first impressions are everything meeting your baby. So I was initially in like black leggings.
They're blind at first, right? They can't see. Isn't that kind of the thing?
Yeah, but you know.
Okay, I get you.
I was in black leggings and I was in like a striped long sweater and I had these like silver pointed like flats out. And I'm like, I'm just going to throw these on, be a little stylish. And I had a pad in. People keep saying like, ever heard of putting a pad in when your water breaks? If you experience what I experienced, I had like 3 tidal waves come out of me and my pads did not stand a chance. I had the one gush when I got out of bed and then it was leaking when I was doing my makeup. And then as I went to pick something up off the ground in my leggings, it was another full gush that went through my pad down, like it like came out like a wave out of my tight leggings down my leg. So I had to take those off. And then I grabbed the closest thing I had were these like white pointel pants and I just kept the same shoes on, not like thinking of how I looked. I didn't look in the mirror. And so I walk out and then I'm like, oh shit, I need to open these Amazon boxes. Like I ordered things for the nurses and I haven't packed gift bags yet. So I just grabbed like a box. I put all the stuff that had arrived and then I bring it out to the car and Scotty's just like, what the hell are you doing? Like we have to go. And I'm like, okay, hold on. I just have to grab a few more things.
Well, we needed to ensure someone was coming to watch our other 2 children. And not to name any names, but 2 of our closest friends, Maddie and Alex, had signed up for it. They live 4 doors down and said they'd leave their phones on loud. They didn't. If you're watching this.
We're not hating on them.
Yeah. No, we love them to death. So then I'm like, we need someone to come, or we just leave the kids here. Either way, but your parents were like on their way, but they're so far away. We need to go to the hospital.
Well, my contractions were then at that point. I was like, oh my gosh, we have to go. Like these are really painful.
You're packing gift bags, and I'm like, okay, the contractions are painful. We need to get in the car and get, let's go. And that's the first time I noticed the white pants. And I just thought it was an interesting choice given the amount of leakage that I'd seen throughout the house that you've explained. So,
Okay. So then I grabbed a white trash bag to put between my legs because I was like, there's nothing else that's going to help. Like I could bring 5 packs of pads and that's not going to help. And so Joe and Connor, literally, God bless them, were at our house within like 6 to 8 minutes after calling them. And we were already in the car, like ready to take off. And we just flew. And thank God that it's like an 8-minute drive to the hospital.
Yeah, I did accidentally put in Waze though, and usually Waze is great. It took us down a side path with a bunch of speed bumps.
Oh my gosh!
And so that was a flawed drive on my part.
So we were going
just like in
over
a residential neighborhood, just bump.
Yeah,
probably helped get the baby.
Potentially,
yeah.
But that's also what made my water gush even more. Was after a bump, was just like whoosh through like my pants. Thank God it was on the trash bag. And then we get to the hospital and there's no valet guy or there's no like parking area because it's like 4:55 in the morning. And so we had to do a few loops, which I'm like, oh my gosh, of course we're doing this. Like, I'm actually going to die. And so then Scotty's like, screw it. We're just parking in the valet. There's no one around. And he left his car for like an hour there.
Yeah.
And so we go up and there I am waddling with this trash bag between my legs. And I was like, for anyone who sees this, it is absolutely ridiculous. And
that's when I noticed the shoes.
No, you noticed the shoes in the
you had the trash
elevator.
bag between your legs, and that's again where I had the metas came in handy. And I'm looking up and down, and I'm like, my first thought was like, these are like Dorothy shoes from like the Wizard of Oz. And so I almost was going to talk about like, where's the Yellow Brick Road? And I'm just like, those are actually pretty dope. That's a dope move to wear the white pants with the silver shiny slip-ons to birth. I was trying to give you props.
Oh, thanks. Yeah. Well,
and by the way, I was carrying all of the bags. So you had a bag on your shoulder and a bunch of people are like, acting
hating
like
on that.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm all about chivalry. I pump the gas.
But I'm also pretty
doors.
positive you like asked me to take it and I was like, no, I have it. Like when you were getting out of the car.
I tried to grab it off your arm.
Yeah, and I was like, no. Like, let's just get inside.
Yeah.
And so we walk into the ward and then I'm like literally like I'm stopping to like with my contractions and I get to the front and they're like, what can we do for you? I'm like, I'm literally having a baby. And they're like, are you sure?
Yeah.
Lady, like first thing she says, are you sure? Like, has your water broken? Are you having contractions? And I'm like mid contraction. I'm like, yes, like right now. So then they finally take me back and they literally do a vaginal, what's it called? So a cervical check right away. And I'm already 5 centimeters dilated and like fully in active labor. My contractions are like 1 or 2 minutes apart. And they were they're like, oh shit, no, you're actually having this baby. And I was like, so I can stay? They're like, yes. And so
I was like, fine. That's great because my car's parked out front.
Yeah. And then so we got there at like 4:55 and at 6 a.m. I was able to get the epidural. It took like a little bit of time even though it was smooth. But like I was to the point where I was squirming, squeezing Scotty's hand, thought I was going to break it. I was in so much pain by the end and just waiting to get it because it takes a little bit of time to be prepped. And with Aspen's birth, we had an issue where there was only one anesthesiologist. And when I asked for the epidural, he was going in for an emergency C-section. So I had to labor through minute apart contractions for like an hour and a half. I was in like another universe. And so it was so painful. I was almost throwing up. I was in so much pain.
You're trying to leave the hospital to go to a new hospital.
Was I?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember that. I thought I was trying to leave this earth and go to...
Babe, we can't do that. We gotta just wait it out.
Yeah, I remember just saying I couldn't do this to you. And you're like, you literally don't have a choice.
I said, you have to. Take it one contraction at a time. I'm right here.
So then this time, right at the beginning when I was like, I'm in so much pain, I was like, epidural, please. And I look over at Scotty. He's like, hell yeah. Like, thank you. And so thank God we did because the anesthesiologist came and I was able to get it within like 30 minutes. But there were 4 other women after me that he had to go into an emergency C-section 3 of those women had to give birth naturally with no epidural because he couldn't get to them. And one of them, I think he came in like finally an hour and a half or 2 hours later or something like that. So I am so grateful that that wasn't my story again. And then once I got the epidural, they checked me like every 30 minutes. And then the next time they checked, I was 8 centimeters. And then 30 minutes later, I was 9 centimeters. And then 30 minutes later, I was 10. Like, it happened so quick that I got the epidural at 6. And then by 6:45, I was already 10 centimeters dilated. And they were like, well, your nurse doesn't get on call, or sorry, your OB doesn't get on call till 7. So like, we have a doctor here on call that can deliver your baby right now if you want, or we can wait for your doctor to be on call.
Dr. Howe.
Dr. Howe, the biggest angel on earth. And so we waited till 7 because I didn't feel any pressure in my butt, which they kept like, are you sure? I'm like, I don't know why I don't this time. And so they're like, okay, we can wait. So at 7, they called Dr. Howe, and it took her a while to get in, but she walked in the room at 8:10. And then from literally 8:10 to 8:15, I was looking at my video timeline, and Dr. Howe and Scotty, the nurses, were like, Scotty wants to deliver. Is that okay? And she's like, yes. So they're both suiting up, and Scotty also helped deliver Aspen, but it was a lot more guided. I'll let him just explain all of this. But they took 5 minutes to suit up, and I started pushing at 8:15. You want to tell your side of the story?
My side?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. I didn't know if they were going to let me.
Yeah. Some doctors don't.
Yeah, I don't know if that's like normal or not, but here, I don't know if she's going to want any more. Dr. Howe was awesome, and she was like, yes, you can. So they got me in the scrubs. They made sure I was like gloved up and everything was sanitary. And then I got down there, got ready. Dr. Howe.
If that's not love.
Oh, it's big time love. We also put a mirror on the other side so that Taylor could see.
Okay, I have to talk about this mirror really quick, because when they said, do you want a mirror, I thought it was like a handheld mirror that someone was just going to be like holding it down there for me to see.
No, it was like a full body mirror.
It's like a full floor length on wheels body mirror. And I was like, oh my gosh, you don't miss anything in that mirror.
No, you don't.
It was a little jolting.
And so I was down there, and the first thing I saw was her huge head of hair start to come out. And Dr. Howe was guiding me through it. I think the first time with Aspen, the Dr. Mercy, was more like hands on my hands, whereas Dr. Howe was like really letting me.
She was off to the side.
She was off to the side, but like instructing me on how to do it. And then there was one moment where I didn't panic, but I was like, man, this is a huge thing. She's like, okay, we don't want her to tear, so you need to have like basically put your hands in a diamond and hold it together. I'm like, that's a huge responsibility, potentially even bigger than delivering this child. But I'm then I kind of like, she's like, reach under her shoulder. And so I got under her shoulder, and then I didn't pull at all. Okay, this is all you. And then you pushed the shoulder out, and then everything kind of came. She was much slippier, like more slippery than I thought. Felt like trying to like catch a wild trout.
Or like a dolphin.
A dolphin is a better
like a slippery
analogy.
Fish or something.
So I was kind of looking at Dr. Howe, and she's like, you got it? I'm like, oh. So I got
and I'm just looking between my legs at Scotty. Well, we have to backtrack a little. So we started pushing around like 8:15, 8:16, and I did one big push, and someone like moved the mirror, so like I couldn't fully see yet, and I did a push, and then I felt like a boop, like something, and I remember saying something just came out, and the nurses and the doctor were like, oh, that's her head. And then I just like stopped pushing for a second because they tell me to rest, and then they're like, okay, one more push, and then they put the mirror in there, and I'm like, oh, I see her. And then I do one big push, and her whole body just comes out and like flops into Scotty's hands, and he's kind of like juggling this baby.
No,
and I'm like,
it was more so just her head came out first.
The first push, yeah,
but it was her whole head. Okay, and that was the only thing visible, and I'm
just
like
sticking out of my vagine.
Yes, and then Dr. Howe did come in, and then she checked around her neck to ensure that the umbilical cord wasn't around it, and cleared that. So thank you, Dr. Howe, for doing that. And then the baby's head kind of went back in.
Ooh,
stopped pushing.
Did it?
Yeah.
Ooh.
And then the next push was like full
boom.
Yeah.
So that's when I saw it. And then I literally saw her fully come out, which was crazy. And then into Scotty's hand. And then through my legs, I'm just watching him like, holy shit, like living this crazy experience in between my legs. And then she immediately cried. And it was just, and then, it was just.
And then I handed her over to you.
Yeah. And it was just like so cool, so fast, so seamless. And then Dr. Howe was like, you didn't tear. I'm like, what? I didn't tear? Because it was so fast. I just assumed maybe that I would tear a bit. And I guess Scotty's to thank for that too, for holding it down for me.
And we got to thank Taylor Swift for coming out with the 9-minute version of All Too Well.
Yes.
Because
she was born to that. Same we were prepping for Aspen's birth to that song too. So
we needed all 9 minutes.
Yes, we needed those 9 minutes for sure. And then it was funny. I looked back at the video and in the moment I didn't notice, but I need to make like a compilation of this where you don't see Scotty, but you just see me pushing. And then you hear all the nurses being like, good job, Dad. Like as Scarlette comes out. And I'm like rewatching this like, wait, what? I just did all of this work. And of course, Dad is getting the praise. Yep. And then Scotty's loving it. So he like comes into the top like to like see me and her. And he's like, thank you very much. Thank you. Like loving the praise and attention.
I don't love either of those things.
But it was just funny. It was one of those moments I'm like,
There's just respect amongst doctors.
Yeah. But no, it was just like such an...
Didn't one of the nurses ask you a question?
Oh my gosh. Before I started pushing, the like actual baby nurse or whatever they're called that check their vitals as they're on your chest, she was so sweet. She looks at me and while Scotty's like literally getting ready down below and she goes, is he a doctor? I was like, what? No, he's not a doctor. What are you talking about? She's like, oh, he just looks like really serious and ready to deliver. I was like, yeah, no. He's just, eyes on the prize, in the zone, ready to...
It was method acting.
Yes, he was method acting. It was hilarious. He's absolutely not a doctor. It was his second time doing it. But yeah, that was really funny. And then we got to do golden hour. I asked, part of my preference was to delay cord clamping until she received all of her blood from it. But I guess the cord started to break after a minute or so. Mm-hmm. So they had to stop that and get my placenta out. In the moment, I was not even panicking or like registering like, oh shoot, this could be an issue. And I, that was one thing I'm like, darn, I wish she got more of her own blood back, but things happen for a reason and she's here and she's healthy.
She was our biggest baby by far.
She was 7 pounds, 10 ounces at 38 weeks, 3 days. Bash at 38 weeks was 6 pounds, 3 ounces. And Aspen was 39 weeks, 4 days and 6'10". So Scarlette was born a week earlier than Aspen and weighed an entire pound more. Mm-hmm. And just so much bigger. But then she's also still like, she's not even at her birth weight yet. So she's petite now still. Like she's still a little itty bitty girl. But yeah, and honestly, I have to say, like after I gave birth, I had so much pep in my step, even though I couldn't stand yet, but I felt 100% fine. Like I could have walked down the hall an hour later. My epidural was gone. I felt perfectly fine, like nothing ever happened. And I know that's a luxury. A lot of people don't. And in the past, I have not felt that way, but that was one of the things. This time it was like such a redemptive birth that I got to, everything felt so smooth and so easy. And a lot of it's probably from having a third baby.
And she was healthy.
But
like Aspen's umbilical cord ruptured.
Yeah.
She had the breathing thing.
The whole NICU team had to come in. So there's like a little panic in that birth.
Bash went to NICU straight after. So this is the first time it was just like...
We earned it. I feel like we earned that smooth experience. You
did great.
And so, yeah, like both of our sets of our parents came after. They're like, how did you just give birth? Like, you look fine. I'm like, I feel fine. Like it was crazy that I was like, I wish we could just leave now because I'm ready to go home. But you have to wait 24 hours. And then, yeah, we only spent one night in the hospital. And then we were home by noon the next day. Mm-hmm. We wanted to get back to Aspen and Bash. They spent the night at my parents'. We toyed with the idea of them coming to the hospital, but I think our biggest concern was Bash being like, what the heck? And then him having to leave us and get really emotional and sad and feel like we abandoned him and just have this other baby. So
and vendetta against this new child.
Yes. So I know someone asked in the last episode, like, are they going to come to the hospital or at home? But since it was just, we decided to leave after one day, that we're like, you know what, we'll just wait till we get home. And another thing, I forgot my toiletry bag, my entire toiletry bag at home. It was the one thing I left somewhere in the shuffle of getting to the hospital. So I had nothing. So I didn't even shower at the hospital. So I packed all my stuff, and half of it I didn't even use. So that was kind of a flop, but I did take the best shower when I got home, and I felt like a new human. And then the kids met her. We need to talk about that. That was so sweet.
Very cute.
And we did it on this bed exactly right here. And they always say, like, don't have the baby in your arms, have them laying down somewhere. So we had her in her little lounger, and we had gifts from baby to each kid of their favorite things. Aspen got like a cute little tea set, and Bash got a dinosaur like track thing, and he loves dinosaurs. So they were both like blown away. They're like, baby got this for us. And they were playing with it for hours after. So that really helped. And I was surprised by how much Bash actually registered that there was a baby coming. Like, you can tell him so much of like, oh, there's a baby in my tummy and this and that, but he was like, oh, baby was in mama's tummy. Like, he knew that this baby was in my tummy before, where before you're like, oh, I don't know if they're just like saying certain things. So it was pretty smooth.
Very smooth. Like, thank God.
And it's been almost 2 weeks, and I mean, Aspen's been so in love with her little sister, almost too in love, where she'll like smother her or, shove a pacifier in her mouth, or
thinks it's her baby.
I'll turn around at school, and the stroller will be like down the block of the classrooms. She's just like taking the baby on a walk. And then Bash has been really good. The first time he saw her, he like comes up close to her, and I'm like, oh no, what is he gonna do? Is he gonna hit her? And he just goes boop and boops her on the nose.
So good.
The very first interaction he ever has.
It's like on Superbad.
I know. I'm like, that's kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Gosh, I can't think, but just like showing that he's older, like he's.
I thought it was charming.
No, it was so endearing. It was so cute, but I was just like, boop. I guess for how we did put in some work with preparing both of the kids for a sibling with the transition. I didn't, not so much Aspen, because she fully knew, she fully embraced it from the second she found out I was pregnant. But obviously, like, we knew she'd probably have a little bit of a hard time with the transition of just like, the new addition and eyes not on them as much. She is very emotional. So I think it was the second night we had a little bit of like a meltdown from her, which is, normal. It was more not like a jealousy breakdown. It was more of just like, well, what about me? Like, she started kind of trying to act like a baby, and she was saying that she wanted a bottle, and I think part of it was to like mess with us a little bit, like reverse psychology.
And then we're like, okay, so baby sleeps every 2 hours, so you're gonna start sleeping every 2 hours. She's like, never mind, I'm 4.
So she had a little bit of a meltdown where she needed some extra love and cuddles, and we both talked to her separately at bedtime about like how she was feeling, and we named the feelings and we talked through them and just talked about how it doesn't mean we love her any less or don't have enough time, and if she's ever feeling sad or not loved enough to come let us know, and we'll give her lots of loves and hugs and we'll talk through it. And honestly, after that, she was like so responsive to that.
Totally.
And
she came up to me the next day and she said, I love you, Dada. And I was like, oh my gosh, like she totally understood it and she loves me. And then she gave me a big hug and then she said, will you take me to get ice cream tomorrow? And I'm like,
she's been milking it a little bit.
Yeah, she totally has. I'm like, good move, sister. Good move.
So then with Bash, I definitely put in a little more work with preparing him for a sibling, just because I was so nervous that he was, for context, he has been attached to my body since the day I gave birth to him. And he doesn't let anyone else do anything for him if I'm around. Like, he won't let Scotty change his diaper, get him dressed, make him food, nothing. If I'm gone, he's totally fine with anyone. But if I'm there, he wants nothing to do with anyone else, which has been a little difficult. So we're a little nervous about that transition. We're making this work. If you're watching, I'm holding 2 mics so Scotty can feed Scarlette to get through this episode. We're multitasking. So in order to kind of prep him from the very beginning, I think we were just talking about baby a lot and getting him to like bond with my stomach. If he ever was into it, he would slap my stomach and say, I don't like baby sometimes. But
yeah, so rude. I'm like, you haven't even met baby.
And then I ended up buying him a baby doll, like a blue boy baby doll, which at first he like wasn't into, but then when we got the stroller, he was so obsessed. He would sleep with the baby every single night. He would put the pacifier in the baby's mouth. So I'm like, okay, we're onto something here. Like, that really helped. And then I got him a Big Brother book. And then I think just talking and like about how life was going to be with the baby there, so it wasn't as much of a shock, like him helping me put the diapers in the nursery and prepping the nursery and being like, this is where baby's gonna sleep, and just positive talk on, saying how proud we are that he's going to be a big brother and his responsibilities, and making him feel just really good about the transition. Is there anything else that we did?
No.
Besides the gifts definitely.
You also did all that.
Well, yeah, but we say we.
Yeah.
United front.
Good.
But yeah, I think the gift bags from day one, they were just so excited. And he was like, baby got me this. Like, it was just such a good start to the day of like being a family of 5 for the first time. And then we've had some family of 5 outings. We had her on Tuesday. We got home on Wednesday. And Saturday, the 5 of us plus our babysitter, Maddie, who's like our oldest daughter, we all went to Aspen's soccer game. We've done that the past 2 Saturdays, which has been relatively smooth. I didn't think we'd be out and about doing things so quickly, but it's been like so sweet. And what else? Yeah, I just feel, honestly, like when people talk about the transition, I know it's only been 2 weeks, but it's felt like the same level of hard. And I think if anything's ever hard, it's more of like the older 2 kids fighting or, talking back to us, or just being like, toddlers. Mm-hmm. And so I was telling Scotty the other day when we were driving, I'm like, it's honestly been shocking. Like, she hasn't been a problem. It's just been like managing the other 2 being crazy, or like if we don't go outside early enough in the day, and they're just like, they're getting what's the word?
Antsy?
Stir crazy inside the house. Yeah. And then they're just like bouncing around from every room, just like fucking shit up and like throwing stuff. Like, they're doing arts and crafts and painting the floor, and then they go to Aspen's room and they flip the ball pit, and then they like get into my shoes and pull them off out of the closet and all the things. Somehow their stuff has landed in every single room every single day. It's like we go to bed with every room being relatively clean, and then we wake up and within an hour every room is somehow messy again. Mm-hmm. And so that's been like the hardest part. But I was a little more concerned with how they'd react, and just having to divide love and attention and affection. And so far, like, I feel like we're doing a really great job.
We are.
Yeah.
I'm proud of us.
Yeah.
And it feels right.
Yeah. So, I mean.
This is it.
But this is it.
This is the last one.
Well, is it?
It is.
It's funny. I don't know what it is. Like, the middle child or the second child for us made us swear we were done having kids. After Bash, we're like, we can't have any more. Like, we're in over our heads. And then here comes Scarlette. And then I was telling Scotty the other day, I think after like a cocktail, I'm like, I could have one more. Like, she just makes you want to have another.
I'm like, you should just have another cocktail instead.
She's just like so perfect and just completely rounds out our family. And somehow the kids have been better behaved since she's been here. And I don't know how, but I'm not going to question it. And Bash especially, like, I'm so proud of him, and he's just been so pleasant and so much more independent, where I'll walk by and instead of him crying and trying to crawl up my leg, he's just like, oh, hey mama, and walks by. I'm like, oh my gosh, like, our umbilical cord is getting longer and longer. Like, we're gonna survive this. So I'm just, it's brought out so much more independence and like confidence in him, and he's just bopping around and doing his thing a little bit more than like being attached to me, which has been really nice. So yeah, I mean, I think that's it with our birth story and just kind of the first early couple weeks as a family of 5. I'll talk more about, we'll do like a Q&A on labor, birth, whatever you guys want to know or questions you have. And then kind of the first couple weeks of like postpartum and newborn life in the next episode. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. And I'll talk to you guys next week. Thanks to my special guests, Scarlette and Scotty, for being here. Any final words?
I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
I love you. She's perfect. No more.
I'm very proud of us. It's been honestly like, it feels too good to be true. Like, it's almost like, you know, when people say like, if it feels too good to be true, it's too good to be true. Like, I'm like, oh, it feels so good to be true. But like in a good way. Like it's our...
She's the perfect, way to round out our family.
She is. It was such a great way to just like, it felt like a closing chapter.
Mm-hmm.
But who knows, maybe a force out there. I don't know. My dad 2 days ago was like, so Scotty's vasectomy, when's that happening?
I almost did it while you were giving birth, but I obviously I was needed.
Yes, he was needed. I was like, you're not going under the knife or scalpel or whatever that is and using it as an excuse. I need you. She poop? No. Anyways, love you guys so much. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Message me with any questions and we'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, Connor and Joe.